welcome back to my homestead. I have received a request from my friends after watching a video about Don't Fear But Stock Up. I think that was the name of it, maybe not, but I just posted a few days ago, and where I'm talking about putting away shelf-stable foods, putting away for whatever may happen as far as the supply chain break or an event that in your household that may require you to eat things that you have stored away. And the request came in saying, well, can you show us at least one meal, how to make it, cooking things that are shelf-stable items from scratch. So today I'm going to make a meal. It's a soup, it's a stew, it's kind of thick soup that can be put together from items that you should have stored away on your pantry shelves. And these are the everyday items hopefully you guys have. And if you don't, I encourage you guys go and get them and put them away on your shelf. So today I'm gonna make pork soup slash stew, if you want to call it, using everything that is on my shelf right now. So first of all, I have pork that I pressure canned a year and a half ago, and I'm going to be using that. And I have homemade broth that I also made a year ago. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. I have my dried lentils, and this is it. I actually ordered another batch of red lentils because this is the last of it I have. And I'm going to be using dehydrated dried flakes of onion, dehydrated dried flakes of carrots. These are my canned pumpkin that I made 2 years ago. And if you don't have this, because I pressure canned it myself, but you can go ahead and get a jar or a can of pumpkin. Then I'm going to need some tomato paste, and I have a small can of tomato paste. I'm going to be using some white beans, and these are white chili beans, okay, of any kind you want. I'm going to need a can, this is 13 and a half ounces of coconut milk. I'm going to need salt, pepper, and then spices. As far as spices, these are the spices I'm going to be using today. I'm going to use a little bit of red pepper flakes. I'm going to use a little bit of cumin, a very little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of turmeric, and a little bit of garlic powder, salt and pepper. All right, and then what else? Oh, a little bit of water. That's it. So I need to rehydrate my vegetables, and the longest one is probably going to be my red lentils. So I'm going to measure out about a cup of dried lentils, and I'm going to cover that with water. I need to make sure that there are no rocks in it, because sometimes you can see a little piece of rock or something like that. But I have to say that I'm very pleased with the batch that I got last time. It was very clean, very good quality, small lentils. So I'm just going to cover everything with water and let it sit and kind of like rehydrate for a little bit, okay? It doesn't have to take a long time. It doesn't have to soak overnight. It's not like dried beans, nothing at all. And I'm going to let them sit and kind of like do its thing. The next thing, I'm going to rehydrate my other vegetables. And you can choose how much you want to use of your dried vegetables. But here's a rule of thumb. A quarter of a cup of dried vegetables, once it's rehydrated, will equal 1 cup of fresh vegetable. So in my case, I'm going to take 2 heaping tablespoons of carrots, just like that, okay? And same thing I'm going to do with the onion. They're flakes, all right? Just like that. And I'm going to cover everything with about a cup or 2 of room temperature water, just to help them to rehydrate a little bit. Okay? I'm not going to discard this water when it's done. Okay? I'm going to be using it in a soup because, come on guys, it has all the flavor in it. All right, so let that sit and rehydrate. In the meanwhile, I need to work with my other ingredients. All right, so I'm going to open my jars, and it's important when you open them that you hear that hiss kind of a sound. Did you hear that? I know I did. Then you do a little smell check. And oh my goodness, if you guys are Russian, Ukrainian from the Soviet era time and you ever ate tushonka when you went camping, it smells like tushonka. Anyway, so I have a large cast iron pot, but you can use any pot you want, really. And I'm just gonna dump my meat in there with a little bit of juice that it has. And there's a little bit of fat on it. It's quite okay. It's all right. Okay, so I'm gonna put the meat in there, just like that. Okay. And I'm going to be adding just a little bit of olive oil to make sure, actually, I may not. No, you know what? I don't have to put olive oil. I'm not going to do that. It has enough fat. And to that, I'm going to be adding 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. And as you guys can tell, my tomato paste spoons are very generous. All right. And this is going to be my starter. I know normally I start things by sauteing onion and carrots and garlic, and I really usually that's my method, but these are different setup. Why? Because this is going to be my soup slash stew, my meal from things that are already on my shelf. Okay, so it's going to be dehydrated onion. Of course, if you have a fresh onion, you probably should chop it up and saute it with some onion in the beginning and then add the meat. All right, so I'm just going to break this all down. All right. And to that, I'm going to add my broth. Again, you got to listen for that little hiss sound. Let's see if we can hear it. Yeah, I love it. All right, and I'm gonna put 1 quart, which is 4 cups of broth in here. Total liquid will be added is 6 cups, because remember that water where I am soaking, rehydrating my vegetables, that's also gonna go in here. And this meal will be a good portion for 4 people for dinner. Okay. All right, so let this come to a boil. All right, so that is coming to a boil, and remember my dehydrated onion and carrot, I'm gonna dump them all in here, okay, because they rehydrated quite a lot. This is what I know about rehydration. If you rehydrate them in hot boiling water, the process will be much faster. In a cold water, it can take up to several hours. So sometimes I can put it in the water and put my vegetables in a cup filled up with water and put it in the fridge for several hours, like overnight, to rehydrate. Okay, and here is my red lentils. They've been sitting about, what, 5-7 minutes now, something like that. And I'm gonna dump them in here as well. I'm not gonna throw away any water. I'm gonna put it all in here all together. And let's see. All right, so let that sit here. Now I need to add my pumpkin. And if you have canned pumpkin, but this is my pumpkin that I canned myself in 2019. Haha, it's still good, my friends. It's still good. All right, I'm going to be putting that in here as well. All right, so I'm just going to stir everything together. All right, and lentils need about 20-25 minutes to cook until they become very, very soft. So I'm going to put a cover on and I'm going to let this bad boy cook all together. All right, this bad boy is boiling. Woo, mama. All right, I'm going to turn this down. I'm going to turn it down. And I think this is my time to add my spices. So you guys know that everything should be to taste, so I'm just going to sprinkle some turmeric. Okay, how much? It's really up to you. Some garlic. If you have fresh garlic, it's great to use fresh garlic, but remember we're cooking from our pantry shelf, so some dry garlic, very little bit of pumpkin, and not much. I don't know, probably a quarter of a teaspoon. All right, then I'm gonna put few, not too many because I don't want to make too spicy, of red pepper flakes. And probably, oh, I forgot to open this. This is my brand new ground cumin I just got. It still has cover on it. I gotta take that off. All right, so I'm gonna put some cumin, probably about a teaspoon, okay, or so. It's really up to you guys. All right, so I did not forget about the beans. All right, so these are my white beans from a can in here as well. Stir this bad boy up, and guess what? I'm gonna let this continue cooking because lentils need to cook, and I want the rest of these vegetables to completely rehydrate. So let me taste it for salt, and I think I'm gonna salt it right now as well. All right, because it's important that our food is seasoned. All right, I'm just gonna taste it just a little bit. Yeah, definitely need salt. Definitely need salt. So I'm gonna put a teaspoon of salt for now, and then again, everything should be to taste, guys. You should taste it yourself. All right, I'm gonna bring this back to boil, and I'm gonna let this simmer for the next half an hour, because you know, good soups always simmer for a while. They sit there and they do their thing on the stove. Let them do their thing. And see how the soup is getting thick already? But don't forget, I'm gonna finish this off with some coconut milk. All right, that's gonna be my last step before I finish the soup. All right, so let this keep cooking. All right, let's see this bad boy. 20 minutes passed. It got much thicker. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. So the big chunks of pumpkin broke down. Seems like all of the lentils are done. The carrots rehydrated, and now I'm going to finish everything with the... Look at how beautiful this is. Ooh, so satisfying. I'm going to put the coconut in here. The whole entire can. All of it. All of it in here. Okay? And I'm going to stir that all together. Let that combine. I'm going to put fresh black pepper. All right. Again, you guys do this to taste, because some may like a lot and some may not like a lot of it. Okay. I will do the final taste for salt. Okay. And you can make sure that I have a good taste for salt. Look how beautiful these colors are changing. Perfect for cold autumn nights like just today. All right, the temperatures are dropping tonight to freezing. We're gonna see frost on the lawn. Look at this. Okay, it's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful soup. Yeah, this is more like soup. So anyway, guys, it's important to remember that we need to rehydrate our vegetables, okay? But everything came from a shelf of the pantry. Everything. Canned pork, canned broth, canned beans, dried lentils, dried carrots, dried onion, and the spices were all dry as well. All right, so let me give it a taste with a salt. You always have to taste it for salt. I think it's perfect. Oh my word, it's perfect. All right, so I'm gonna bring this to a boil again really quick, just because I added, and that's it. It's time to serve it. All right, friends, so here's my lentil pork pumpkin soup. Everything from the pantry shelf, everything was shelf stable, and the whole thing took me probably 40 minutes to put together, from soaking it to boiling it, from cooking it. There was no chopping involved because we didn't have any fresh vegetables. Everything was pre-dehydrated before. All right, so let's give it a taste. And I have my sourdough bread here. Ooh, yum, delicious. So good. So good, so hearty. Oh, I love it. That coconut definitely added a good, everything kind of a tying it together. And because I do have Slavic blood running through my veins, I had to add some sour cream anyway, because that's what we do. Sour cream goes in every soup. Delicious. So friends, I shouldn't be talking with my mouth full, but it's delicious. So friends, I hope you are encouraged to look into storing some simple foods that your family will eat. Put them away on a shelf, okay? They are shelf stable, meaning that you don't need refrigeration, you don't need special conditions, you don't need root cellar for any root vegetables. Just have them, store them in shelf stable condition, dehydrated, canned, that sort of thing. And learn how to cook from scratch. How do you put together simple meals? And here's one, and it didn't take me any time at all. So friends, I hope you stay encouraged and try something new.